Welcome to Let's Talk, hosted by David B Plemons, CPA Inc. Here, we will focus on the struggle, the juggle, and everyday hustle of small business. We will be here weekly talking to small business owners about their everyday struggles. We welcome your questions and comments, so feel free to email us at admin@plemonscpa.com. We hope you enjoy, and above all, we hope it helps.
Well, welcome to Let's Talk. Today on our episode, we have Ms. Veronica Morales, the CEO and owner of The Social Being. Welcome, Veronica.
Thank you for having me, Thalia.
Excellent. We're so glad you came. So tell us a little bit about what is The Social Being?
So we are an award-winning national advertising agency, and we specialize in digital media, digital marketing, which means pretty much web development. We design on WordPress. We specialize in WordPress. We do SEO, which is search engine optimization, how people get found on Google.
All right.
SEM, search engine marketing, which are Google ads. We also do social media strategy and implementation for clients.
Okay.
We do reputation management as well. Kind of falls under the social media realm.
Okay.
You know, reviews and things of that nature.
Right.
And then we also help with like blogger outreach for clients. And then we have a little small department under us that helps with event management as well.
Okay.
So we can put on events, help integrate technology into events. So yeah, and that just comes with my background.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now how long have you been in business?
So The Social Being is going to be 8 years old, March 15th.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Happy anniversary.
Yes. We always have a birthday party for him.
Okay.
And even though he is plastic,
Right.
we still have candles on the cake, except he doesn't get too close.
Right. We don't want him to melt. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it'll be turning 8 March 15th. So.
Excellent. Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank
You've
you.
already beat the odds where
Yeah.
they say businesses will not be in business after 5 years. So
Yes.
you are definitely on an upward trajectory.
Yay.
No doubt. So let's talk a little bit about some of the struggles and juggle and hustle that you've had to do with your small business. You started out as a sole proprietor, right?
Yes, I did.
And how long were you in that stage before you hired your first employee?
So we became an LLC July 5th, 2017.
All right.
So it did take a few years. Some of it was because of my personal, I had some setbacks personally, but it took a while to become an LLC. I think with my mentoring programs that I've been in, we started to look at becoming an LLC when we actually started making revenue, being able to pay myself back, being able to handle all our overhead and expenses. And the reason is because it was advised that, hey, if you're growing, so now it's time to become that LLC in case we get sued, or think something like that would happen. The Social Being would be its own entity, and it wouldn't necessarily fall on me.
Okay.
Because as you know, if someone sues you, they're suing you, your home, your car, everything. But they, when you're an LLC, it's a little different. You're actually an entity itself. So.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that took a leap of faith, I'm sure, to go from a sole proprietor to an LLC.
It did. And that's where I have to bring in the programs that I've been in with. The first one that I joined was with the City of San Antonio, the Protege Mentoring Program.
Yes.
And then after that, I got on board with LiftFund.
Okay.
And LiftFund had an incubator program, and we were the inaugural,
Class?
yes,
All right.
or actually client in their incubator, which is housed on their at their headquarters on their campus.
Okay.
So we were there for about a year, and that was that was different than the city program. The city program was great. It had, a mentor, and you have to meet with them once a month, and you go through everything, the foundation of your business, from, sales, contracts, QuickBooks, employees, HR, and that was good. But the difference between that one and Lift Fund was at Lift Fund we actually moved in with them. We were there
wow. Okay.
on site.
Wow.
I had to be 100% transparent with everything. My books, how I run the business, how I do sales.
That had to be scary, didn't it?
You know, it was and it wasn't, because again, with, you know, I said the how the social being grew.
Right.
One of the things that I almost did was close the business.
Wow.
We weren't really making money. I mean, it was pretty bad. I was behind my car payment like 60, 90 days.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it was bad. And
yeah.
I had to step back. I even moved in with my mom.
Okay.
I got to a point just as personally, like I was like, what am I doing? You know, like, is this working? I don't think it is, you know, and I wanted to close the business. But at that point is when I had Lift Fund reach out, and they were like, is it true? You want to close your business? And I was like, yes, because at that point we had given seminars and we had done stuff with them before, even some work for them. And they were like, you can't close. You just have such a great vibe about yourself, about the company, everybody that works with you. Like, what do we need to do to help you not close? And then, so then they at the same time were creating this incubator program.
Okay.
And approached me and said, hey, you know, maybe let's get you to apply for this program, and it'll be a good fit, and maybe we can pretty much help you save your business.
Okay.
So yeah, it would have been scary had I been doing well, and you're gonna look at all my books and stuff. But at that point, you know, it was like,
you were just transparent because there wasn't anything there. Almost in essence, you were getting ready to quit anyway.
Exactly.
So what do I have to lose?
And that's exactly what I thought.
Gotcha.
And I said, that what do I have to lose? If this is going to work, it's going to work. If it isn't, it isn't. And well, obviously it did.
It did.
Yeah.
You're celebrating 8 years in a week or so.
Yes. And with both programs, I tripled revenue within a year.
Wow. That is phenomenal.
It is.
Phenomenal. So tell me, is your industry male dominated? Did you have to fight some walls and jump over some hurdles to make an impression, a footprint in the marketplace?
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure. I don't know the exact number, but maybe less than maybe like a handful, 2 handfuls of agencies that are here that actually are owned by women in my industry. A majority of owned by men. The biggest thing that we see, because right now my team is mainly composed of women, believe it or not, and it's just happened like that. It's not that we're, you know, looking out for women. I mean, it's a great thing, but no, it's not. It's not that I've been doing that. It's just so happened. And we have this discussion, you know, very often in our office. Every time we go, I mean, we're about to go to South by Southwest Interactive.
Okay.
And we leave Friday. And the thing is that every time we walk into those sessions, you know, you walk in and we're definitely less than 20% of the audience as with females.
Okay.
I'm going to break it down even more. Out of the 20%, at least 10 to 15% are white women, you know. And then you have your 5 to 7, I don't know, 8% that are minority, and, you know, Asian, Black, you know, and then you're Hispanic, right, is what I'm, you know.
Right.
And usually we are the 1 or 2 or 3 females in there that are Hispanic women.
And that's it.
And that's it. Yeah.
Wow. And South by Southwest is a phenomenal, huge event that occurs that draws people from all over the United States, even all over the world, actually.
Yes, all over the world.
And that is a very, very small drop in the bucket compared to what is available out there for those people that are attending. So you look at how you are being shaped and molded by the industry, but then you're making that disruptive impact.
Yes.
Being that minority woman-owned business.
Yes.
And you're actually making a difference because you are celebrating 8 years.
Yes.
You're not just celebrating 1 or 2. And you've had some bridges that you've had to cross, some bridges you've had to build. One of our guests had talked about being an entrepreneur is leaping off a cliff and building a plane as you're falling downward. Okay?
Nice analogy.
And you've had to do that, haven't you?
Yes.
Now, tell me something about when you were going for contracts, city contracts, federal contracts. What are some of the challenges you've had?
So at first, just working in the private sector, just having regular clients without even the government part of that, it was a challenge. It was learning. Yes, I got a template, so to speak, of a contract from my industry. But then as we kept growing, our services kept growing. It's like, oh, we need to add this, we need that. But we really, our contracts now are like 15 to 20 pages. And that's because we've learned the hard way. A website goes down, and why did it go down? Well, because we didn't have the support package on it. But why didn't we have the support package? Because the client didn't want that at first. They thought that it was too expensive. But yet, because again, we build in WordPress. WordPress is constantly updating every 2 to 3 weeks. And if you don't maintain that website like a vehicle, oil change, tire rotations, it's gonna fail you. And so what ends up happening is you have someone invest $4,000 or $5,000 into this website. 3 months later, it goes down for whatever the reason, and they're turning around and telling you, "Hey, why'd you build a lemon?" Not necessarily our fault.
Right.
And so that's just one incident. That's just one reason why now we have a whole large half-a-page paragraph on why we will not build a website without support, at least for the first year.
Right.
And so because of situations like that, contracts grown and grown and grown and grown. Of course, with graphic design is one of the services I forgot to mention. But we obviously have graphics, so I've seen it in every department, I guess, at our agency. Like graphics has been something, website, social media. So with that, it's been a learning experience. Then we moved over. When I got the certifications, for small business, emerging, we have 5 designations plus the hub for the state of Texas. And when we got those, yes, I now have the opportunity to bid on government projects, which was great. At first, we didn't have enough experience, so I understand that, and we were turned down for several bids. But then I got smart, and of course, with just mentoring and guidance, we became. Well, we were. I was told, why don't you become a subcontractor on one of the contracts
versus becoming a prime?
Yes, and that was the best thing I could have done, because I learned how now the government contracts worked. And we worked with a local agency here, which we have a great relationship with, and we learned how to be a sub on a contract. But it taught me a lot, because yes, the government does definitely work different than the private sector. And we've learned, of course, some things there and added to the contracts, but mainly not as much. It's mainly been private that we've learned a lot. But yes, so I feel now that we're at the point, and we're especially being going to be 8 years old, that we can now be a prime on a contract. There's no doubt. We've actually gone for some of them, and I think that after, because I don't know how much you all know about government contracts, but after you put in a bid for a contract and you don't win it, you can go to the procurement department and ask them for a meeting. I know the meeting has a special name. I forgot what that is, but you can pretty much sit with them and ask them, what is it why didn't you win the bid? Is it pricing? Is it experience? I mean, is it the services that you were bidding at or proposing? And so that has helped me too. Going to those meetings, learning why we didn't get the contracts. And so it's just everything in general, like all the experiences. And so that's kind of how the government contracting went. But government contracting, I will say that the worst part about it is it takes forever to get paid. You're waiting.
Yes, you are.
60 days, maybe even 90 days. And you have to figure out, how am I going to operate for 60, 90 days without payment?
True.
And so that opened up another can of worms. Line of credit.
Ouch. Ooh, that just sounds scary, because you're almost mortgaging your future in hopes that you get paid in a timely fashion. So walk us through an actual bid process.
Okay.
Walk us through.
So typically, so we are part of the hub, like I was saying, and
which stands for historically underutilized businesses.
Yes, yeah, you know better than me.
Okay.
No, and so I signed up for the CMBL list, which is about $70 a year or so. And that gives you all the leads, you know, all the government leads for the most part. I believe it's local, state, and federal.
Yes.
And so these bids come in, you look at them. What do you think, you know, is within your capabilities? What isn't? And then you can, you know, one of the things that I first do is I really, if it's one that I'm really interested in, I think we can do it, I literally print it out.
Okay.
And a lot of people say, why are you killing a tree? And it's because I am still old school in that sense. I still need to highlight what we can, and I want to make sure that we can fulfill the bid. Right. If I need to subcontract someone or bring them on as a sub, you know, I'll look at that. Typically at that point, I feel that, you know, this is something we could really do. There's usually a
pre-bid meeting.
Yes. Yes, there you go. And it has a date and time and when you're, so we'll go to that. I'll go to that. And I not only see everybody who's a prospect and bidding for the bid, but I also will be able to ask the procurement officers the questions that I need that aren't necessarily clarified in the bid.
Right.
And so that goes through. The cool thing about that is, yes, there's a sign-in sheet. You see everybody who signs in, and then all the questions that were asked will later be sent back to you.
Right.
So that you can, you know, make sure that all that information is in the bid and that you understand it. At that point, we come back. We have like sometimes a week, sometimes a month to get this bid up and running and submit it. So we work on that, and I think the most consuming bid that we ever worked on was for a local government entity here in San Antonio.
Okay.
And it took us 40 hours to put that 60-page bid together.
Wow. Was it because it was so detailed, or you just wanted to make sure it was exact and it was right?
Both.
Oh, wow.
It had to be that detailed, and we did some extra research to make sure that they could get the best for their money, you know. And so anyhow, we turned it in, and lo and behold, we did not get it.
Didn't get it?
Nope.
How frustrating is that? Oh, my goodness.
40 hours down the drain.
True enough.
Yeah.
But you had to have learned something from that.
Yes.
Which was?
That... Well, I realized that, one, this is an agency that wanted everything printed, binded,
right,
and sent to their office. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So at this point, if someone's asking for that, I think I'm not gonna go for that.
Not gonna go for that
unless it's a digital, because that in itself took us like an additional 5-10 hours,
right,
just to print and bind them all, because they want 5 copies and then they want the original. It was a nightmare. Yeah, so that's one of the things I look for now.
Okay.
If I can't submit that sucker digitally, not happening. Yeah, I'm gonna kill a tree, and I don't want that, you know.
Okay.
But I think also because I did get the chance to go meet with them.
All right.
I did. I made myself, and I learned why we didn't get it, and it wasn't necessarily it wasn't a pricing thing either. It was you know, I have to admit that I think a lot of it is like anything else, relationship.
Okay.
You know, they have relationships with agencies that, you know, and they feel could know them and could handle it better. That's one, I think.
But they had to put it out on the street.
Yeah, it has. I mean, by law, you have to.
Right.
Even if you know you like your agency and you want to keep them.
Right.
I feel that one day we will probably get one, you know. I haven't been submitting for them. Okay. Just because, believe it or not, we've increased our revenue with the private sector. Okay. Corporate and nonprofit. All right. One of the things I keep track of is the capabilities of my team. Okay. And not overwhelming us with something that we just, not that we can't handle, but that we'll be overwhelmed and then we're not performing the way we should be. Gotcha. So I have held off on the bidding and the bids. because it does take, I mean, had we won that bid, that would have taken a lot of time and effort. And I know that, you know, growing the team the way I've been growing it slowly,
Yes.
You know, you get a $250,000 bid and it's like, whoa, you got to go from 5 employees to 10 overnight.
Right.
And it's not easy doing that.
True.
So in a way, I felt it was a blessing in disguise.
Okay.
But when I feel ready, we'll go ahead and start bidding again.
Okay.
But again, like I said, we're so busy with the private sector right now that we're good. We're in a good spot right now.
So tell me, how many employees do you have?
So altogether with myself, I believe there's 8 of us.
8 for 8.
Mm-hmm.
8 for 8 years, almost 1 per year, just about.
I never thought about
okay.
that. Yeah, and that's because we've gone. You know, that is, if there's a downfall that I have, that's probably one of them.
I'm sure.
You know what I've learned with that is resumes aren't always what they seem to be.
Interesting.
Yes.
So how do you filter the pure actual resumes against the fake ones?
So we bring them in and we ask obviously the questions that need to be asked, and we've tried to filter them as best as possible. It hasn't been working necessarily.
Oh dear.
But just recently, I learned a new strategy. And it seems to be working.
Which is?
So usually we bring in someone and we train them on our procedures and our software and kind of give them the rundown on how we operate, and then let them, you know, give them projects and let them fly and see what they can do. And it just doesn't work. What I've noticed is that some, especially in one department specifically in our agency, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the drive that they don't have, or the organization skills, or I mean, you know, because agency life is different. It's like a restaurant. We're turning tables.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It's like in and out, in and out, in and out. So you know, you don't have 2-3 hours to design a business card. Nope. You go in, you eat, and you're out. You know? And
in and out burger almost.
Yeah. So it's the same thing with a business card.
Right.
Whip it up, knock it out, move on to the next thing. You know.
Right.
And so you know, what I decided to do is bring in now people, let them sign an NDA, obviously.
Right.
Okay. But we're not even going to put them on any kind of payroll. We're just going to let them work with us for 16 hours straight. 2 days, 2 to 3 days.
Oh.
And they're going to get paid an hourly rate
Okay.
for the entire day. Like, so in other words, they're going to come in and make, what, $80, $100 a day, whatever.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw at them every single thing I possibly can.
Oh, see what sticks.
See how they perform.
Okay.
See if they can handle it.
Ah.
And we're not, you know, just show more. We're not showing them every single thing. Like, we're just telling them, like, do this, do that, do this, this. It's been working.
Has it? So this is a new hiring strategy that you managed to develop after going the normal route.
Yep.
Looking at the resumes, calling them in for interviews,
Yep.
putting them on payroll immediately, and then after, 30 days, 2 weeks?
Yeah, so typically at 30 days, I reevaluate. This is what I was doing. Give them, you know, a bump in their hourly rate, and then at 90 days, then we look back at them again, and then at that point, if they're doing well, give them another bump. And then after that, it just becomes yearly, you know, raising it normal, the normal standards or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I had to do this because I will tell you that one of the last persons that came on that I did it the normal, regular way, I spent 6 to 8 hours just going over procedures, training them, how we do things, why we do things. And then for them to leave the next week.
Oh, ouch.
So pretty much a whole day of my time wasted.
Right.
And time is money, and I don't have time for that.
I got you.
So now we're just kind of, here's a computer. What can you do? Throw you in the fire.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's working better for you, obviously.
It is.
Well, that's good. That's real good.
Because they don't really know us, you know. They don't know the team yet. They know, I mean, the introductions are there, of course, but that's it. It's more about, can you handle the workflow with like not knowing us. And,
right.
And do you really have the skill set?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're not as much about relationships initially.
Exactly. See, that's what I was doing before. I was trying to establish a relationship with, you know, the team member.
Right.
And seeing, yeah, do you like us? You know, are you liking us? How's it going? And now I don't care about that relationship.
Oh.
I am throwing them in. Now but that also tells something, because like I'm really big on our company culture.
Okay.
Especially how we operate.
Yeah, let's talk about culture a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm very big on that. So again, instead of talking the talk, I'm seeing them walk the walk.
All right.
So how are they going to react? Because they don't really know our procedures. They don't know our clients. And so how are they, when a project manager comes to them and says, hey, I need this.
Okay.
How are they going to react with that project manager? Can they make it happen? How are they going to react with the client when they hear the client on the phone with the project manager?
Mm-hmm.
Like all these little things we're looking at.
Okay.
And so we can see how they are reacting under pressure.
Correct.
Which has a lot to do with our company culture. Because our company culture is pretty laid back.
Okay.
Everybody, I mean, we're like a family. The team is like a family. We back each other up. There's enough cross training to happen, but it's not full, because I don't expect my team members to know every single thing.
Okay.
You can't, not in marketing, especially digital.
True.
You got to have your specialty, and so yeah, everybody's pretty much in their area, and so it's one of those things where, okay, well, here you're getting thrown in the fire. Can you handle it?
True. Very true.
Swim, bird, or fly, birdie. Yeah.
Kick the eagle out the nest, so
pretty
to speak.
much.
No doubt. So now you found that methodology works better than the other one.
As of right now, it is working for us.
Okay. And it took how many employees for you to get to that point?
More than 10 fingers.
More than 10 fingers. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a part of the growth of the social being
Yes.
able to stay and evolve and grow and be fluid instead of just...
So funny you say that, because one of the things that I'm looking into and make sure that we're doing is project management, agile.
Explain.
So I'm still learning, and I'm actually going to take some of these classes at South by, but it's kind of like where you're evaluating the project as you go, so that way you don't have to step back.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, like for a website, for example, a lot of times the way it works is, hey, we get with the client, we get everything we need, and we build out that website. And we don't really keep them informed of what's going on. I mean, that's typical. You kind of start building it out and doing the design and everything else, and you're not really keeping track with, you're not talking to the client every day or every week or whatever, and you build it out, and the first time they see it really is when you're at the revision stage.
Correct.
At that point, when they see that website, they're like, what? This is not what I wanted.
Okay.
Totally not my vision.
Right.
So then you have to go back and make adjustments and changes.
Right.
And and there's more to it, but in our world, that's how I'm looking at it. What if we kept the client more informed as we do that web development, and keeping them informed of how it's going and the design and everything? That way they can stop us when they see something they don't like, instead of us stopping and going back.
Okay. So it's like while you're in the midst of it.
Yes.
You'll make the adjustment versus waiting till it's completed, then have to go back and revise.
Yeah.
So you're being agile in the project.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that's where, and we're pretty good about that actually, but I'm learning more and more tricks and tips on how to make it more effective and efficient for the team.
Okay.
And it's gotten better. It really has. But again, that's why I'm going to South by, to focus on that. And blockchain, because that's just, we're not really doing blockchain with our agency, but I want to learn more about that.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Wonderful. Well, our time is about up. So give me some ideas. Give me a synopsis, a quick tip, or some sort of summary about the business, that struggle, that hustle, and that juggle of small business. Give our listeners something to hold on to. What would you say? What would be the best advice you could give them?
So today, and actually just happened today, we have a young lady who came in and she's working with us, and she's, just kind of throwing her in the fire. But she's been with other agencies, and she straight up said, I like how you guys work. And I said, what do you mean by that? Like our demeanor, our culture? She goes, no, your procedures.
Uh-huh.
She goes, I can tell that you have thought through your procedures and you guys know what you're doing. Like, and there's a lot of agencies out there that are just like, they just handle it when they come. Like they don't have procedures.
It's more reactive.
Yes.
Okay.
Instead of proactive.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I'm impressed.
Okay.
She says, I've never been at an agency that's so detailed and has a checklist for a checklist, and she was impressed. And so that's what I was going to say. It's a foundation. It's the foundation that you build for your business, and it's more internal, not external. It's internal.
Okay.
Perfect example. I had a personal issue last year, and I had to be away from the business for about a week with really little to no communication. That business was either going to fail without me or run itself, and it ran itself. Why? Because of the procedures that we have. It's like checks and balances within the team itself.
Okay.
And I think that any business needs that. Because if you as an owner want to walk away, or you need a break, or if they can't function because there's no procedures, then that's a problem. The second part of that is holding your team members accountable for those procedures. If they're not doing it, you gotta have the talk.
Right.
And after one or two talks, if they're not gonna do it, guess what? See ya. Because again, if one person is not following the rules and the procedures, then it's just like a domino effect.
Okay.
It will affect everything.
Gotcha.
And so I think that having a team that's driven, that they actually care about the company. They care about their team members, that they understand the policies and procedures, and they understand why we do things the way we do. And that they also have the freedom to, hey, I think this could work better because of this. You know, we were on a project and we saw that this, I'm always open to increasing the workflows.
Right.
But yeah, you definitely need that, because you can have the sales, you can have the team that just knows what they're doing, but if without those procedures, you're dead in the water.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much,
you're welcome.
Veronica. So that is our issue, our ending to Let's Talk, the hustle, struggle, and juggle of small business. Let's talk next week. Tune in again. Thank you for joining us on Let's Talk, hosted by David B Plemons, CPA, Inc. We want to thank our guest, Veronica Morales, CEO of The Social Being, for her insights into the hustle, struggle, and juggle of managing growth of your small business. Join us next week as we host Carlos Acosta of Lift Fund. For more information about any one of our guests, or if you have questions and comments, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at admin@PlemonsCPA.com, and don't forget to check out our website, PlemonsCPA.com, for upcoming events and workshops. Have a great day.